Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Totally Unstructured podcast, where there is no script, there is no structure. It is totally unstructured. Get fucked, keep you on your toes. That's how you keep them guessing. How you all doing? Welcome back. It has been 2 weeks. I was going to say it's been a while, but it's been the exact allotted time that I said it would be. So, it has been a while. It has been 2 weeks, which is...
Been a while.
It's been a while. God damn it. Critical Role has ruined it for everyone. So, I guess it's been, depending on your measurement of time, 2 weeks is either a very, very long time or 2 weeks is no time at all. Depends on your situation.
It is simultaneously both.
It is both. I mean, well, yeah. Once again, it's your situation, because like if you're, I don't know, if you're enjoying yourself and you're in a place that you love and you're having a fantastic time, then 2 weeks goes by really, really quickly. But like say like you're married for 30 years, 2 years is a lifetime, and that shit sucks,
Why do we go from 2 weeks to 2 years?
No, like 2 weeks feels like 2 years. Because like if you're married, that's what everybody jokes about.
Marriage doesn't always need to be that way.
Not always.
See, we are not our parents' children in that fashion.
No, but also to be fair,
we don't need to be anyway.
To be fair, though, neither of our parents are divorced, or to the best of my knowledge, ever talked about getting a divorce or anything. No. So, we're
doing good.
We're part of the lucky few, because last time I was told divorce is by 50% of all married couples get divorced. Yep. Half. Jesus, that's a problem in itself, but that's, not for me to say. I am not married, nor have I ever been married. The closest I ever got to married was looking at ordering a ring for a girlfriend. That's the closest I ever got. So, not even close.
I've got.
Yeah, well, fair enough. But nonetheless, we are back. Hello, welcome back to the live transmission of Totally Unstructured. It's very difficult to point at an angle, but we are here. So, we got some things to talk about. I have a few things I'd like to talk about, like always, and I don't know if Jackson's brought any topics entirely for this one.
I don't know.
That's fair.
I'll figure it out when it comes out.
Yeah, just like, namesake of the podcast, it's unstructured. Who knows? It just kind of happens on the fly. So, well, let's talk about the subject we were going to talk about initially. So, for those of you unaware, my name is Torsten, but I also go by WinglessValkyrie, and I have my own channel called WinglessValkyrie. It's about fantasy-related content. You can check it out. My most... Well, sorry, go ahead.
So, I was going to say, this was actually me asking him as soon as
we
got in.
Yeah, let's go from your perspective then.
So, recently, our boy... He put out a pretty fantastic little video.
Damn, thanks, man.
I gotta hype you up. And it was titled My Journey to Phyrexia. It's no longer titled that, and I was just like, bro, what the fuck happened?
Yeah. So, here's the thing, and I've talked about this, I think I even talked about this last podcast exactly, where there's tons of people who try to make content on YouTube, and then whenever it doesn't do well, they don't look inward, they don't look in the mirror, they don't look at their own content, they just go, the algorithm hates me, it's all the algorithm's fault, and the algorithm just doesn't like my content.
This time it actually was.
Well, actually, not. No, that's not where I'm going with this.
That'd be funny,
that would be the perfect segue. It's like, yeah, it's fucking algorithm's garbage. But no, the unfortunate thing is everybody that has that mindset, I've said numerous times, replace algorithm with audience, and you will understand so much more about why your content is not doing well. Because it's not the algorithm doesn't hate you. The algorithm wants you to succeed. The algorithm wants people to watch your videos because it gets people to spend more time on YouTube and see more ads. Of course, it wants you to do well. But if people are not watching your video, it's not going to keep recommending your videos because it's not keeping them on YouTube. So there's no point. So
get to the point.
My point being is that when you're making content on YouTube, you shift from a mindset of... So, perfect example. You are not a content creator on YouTube.
Nope.
You've never made a video for YouTube. I don't think you ever intend to. So you are the exact 100% of your YouTube viewing experience is done by the viewer perspective. I flip-flop. I make content on YouTube, but I also consume a lot of content on YouTube. But when I'm making my content on YouTube, I try to think of what the viewer wants to see, but I also want to make stuff that I would be proud of and that I want to make. And there's conflict there. And this leads into my journey to Phyrexia. I've wanted to make this video for a fair amount of time. I've had the idea for it considerably, and like how different ways I wanted to take it ever since like I started seeing the leaks for Phyrexia or All Will Be One and everything, and I started thinking about, man, I'm really excited for this. And I was going back to thinking about the old Phyrexia where I was like, I really didn't like that set and everything, and that brought back all those memories. And then when I came back home for Christmas, I still have the Mirrored and Besieged poster on my wall or on my ceiling. And I took a video of that, but it didn't make it into the final cut. But either way, so I was like, I want to make a video talking about my experience with Phyrexia, my experience with Infect, on how I started out hating it and despising it, but now I love it and I fully embrace it. And I thought that would be a cool journey to play out in a video format. And I thought that would be a really interesting video to watch, and I would enjoy making that video, and I would enjoy watching it afterwards, because if you can't watch your own videos and enjoy them, you're not making the right types of videos. So
I don't know, man. There's a lot of cringe in some shit.
True, but I'm not talking about my current videos. I'm talking about, I'm talking about my current videos. We don't talk about my old videos.
We don't talk about those.
Those are all cringe. No. At the time I made them, I didn't think they were cringe. Now, of course, they're cringe because they're old.
And then these ones will become cringe later.
Absolutely. That's just that's the nature of all things. At the current point in time, it is either not cringe or you know it's cringe and you embrace it, and then later it becomes cringe. That's just how the world works. So. But
current is not cringe. Later is earlier is cringe.
Yes, the future is perfect. The present is good. The past is cringe. That's how it works. So I started making my Journey to Phyrexia video, and I was really working on it, and I was very, very proud of it, and it took me a very long time because I kept changing certain aspects and certain videos about it and certain talking points. The original video was like, I think it was like 20 minutes long, and I cut so much from the script.
Yeah, because it's only like 10,
it's
12?
Not even there. I think it's just shy of 7 minutes, which I'm very upset by, because YouTube only gives you ads on your video if it's 8 minutes or longer. Fuck, less money.
Come on, man. You could have easily milked an extra couple seconds.
See, and that's the thing. I could have, but it wouldn't have been a good video anymore, because a good video keeps your attention the whole way through. You got to keep that watch time. You got to keep, because you can see it on your graphs as well. Every video you've ever watched or ever clicked, the graph will always have an immediate downturn, because people will click the video, and then as soon as it starts playing, they will switch back and go to different videos. They'll just click. It's just inevitable. So every single video you will ever see on YouTube will always have an immediate drop, but that immediate drop then levels out to people who actually click and they sit and watch. And if you have a graph that goes straight down and straight across, you have a perfect video. There's consistent watch time. Nobody clicked off the video halfway through. That is a perfect video. And if you
that's what you were aiming for.
That's what every YouTuber aims for. Most videos, you have a start and it slowly peters off near the end, and that's just kind of how it goes. That's most YouTube videos kind of go that way. And if it's a really bad video, you'll see this, boom, and a little bit of watch, and then an immediate fall off, which means you didn't capture their attention. It was too boring. It wasn't interesting, and you made a bad video. And then you just kind of take your lumps and you go with it. Or you blame the algorithm and fucking complain about it on Twitter. You know, one of the two things. So, but that's what you aim for. And that's why the video, I could have made it longer. I could have made it 8 minutes and got ads in there, but I didn't want that. I wanted like every YouTuber aims for.
You want a plateau.
Yeah, I'm not, like right now, I don't need to make rent. I don't need to worry about the ad revenue. I'm fine with it being under 6 minutes, but I was like, it's just 7 minutes and like 1 extra minute, and I could have had an ad in the video. Oh well. So nonetheless, so I made the video. I'm very excited for it, and I knew from the very beginning I wanted to title it My Journey to Phyrexia, because I was like, that was a compelling title, and it says exactly what the video is. It's not clickbait or anything. It is a perfect exact title, My Journey to Phyrexia. And the initial thumbnail I shared on Discord, and it was just a very close-up of half my face, kind of looking a little evil and like twisted, with the Phyrexian logo beside me. And I thought that was a very cool. I'll get to all the comments that your face is reacting to in a minute, okay? Don't. If we stop, we're gonna talk about comments for 30 minutes, and it's not gonna come back, okay? I will fucking come back to this in a moment.
It's all good. I'm just looking, and it's just like, interesting.
I'll get back to all that shit in a moment. So the first thumbnail, evil close-up of half my face, Phyrexian logo next to me, and My Journey to Phyrexia. And I was like, that's a bomb thumbnail. That's a bomb title. This is going to work. This is going to be great. And then I'm getting closer and closer to finishing the video, and I realized, you know what? There's a lot of empty space in this thumbnail, and compared to other thumbnails, because YouTube's competition, every time your thumbnail shows up, it has to be just as good, if not better, than everything else around it. You don't know what it's going to be around, but it's got to be better than that. And I was looking at it all, and I went, the thumbnail is not super compelling. It's half of my face looking a little bit evil, and then the infect symbol or the Phyrexian symbol. And I went, it's not super inviting. It's a little off-putting, but that's what I was going for, but I'll change it up. So I changed it up to a similar idea. I took a freeze frame from the video of me kind of looking over my shoulder, and then I put the Phyrexian logo zoomed in. So it was me like going this way, but looking over my shoulder back at Phyrexia and like thinking about it. So it was like My Journey to Phyrexia, and it still got that point across, but a little bit more color in the background. It just popped more. It was a more immediately noticeable, like if the thumbnail. Yeah, if the thumbnails are flying by your face, it was more like, ooh, what was that? More colorful to a grab. So that was what I initially went with. And the video got finished. I uploaded it with that thumbnail and that title, and I was really excited for it. I let it sit for about 2 hours to come back and look at the graph, and there are 3 metrics you need to know when you upload a YouTube video. One is the out of 10 scale. Every time you upload a YouTube video, YouTube will tell you how your video is doing compared to your last 10 videos. If your YouTube video is a 10 out of 10, that sounds great, but that means it is 10th place out of your past 10 videos in terms of comparison.
So you actually need a 1
You
out
need
of
a
10.
1 out of 10. And when you get out of 1 out of 10, and this is the ingenious thing that YouTube does, and I know exactly why they do this, and it's bullshit, but it's, fair point to them. When you get out of 1 out of 10 in your video, when you click on the analytics to see that, you get fireworks, you get sparkles, and it's like 1 out of 10, your video is doing amazing, and it gives you that dopamine hit that's like, yeah, I gotta chase that, I got to get the 1 out of 10. 2 out of 10, no, you get fucking nothing. You get your video's second out of your last 10, you get nothing. But as soon as I get 1 out of 10, fireworks, confetti, and it's like, fuck you, YouTube, thank you for the dopamine hit of fireworks and shit. Now I gotta chase that forever. So I let it sit. After a couple hours, I come back, I look at the results and see how it's doing. 10 out of 10. Worst of my last 10 videos, which I didn't expect it to get 1 out of 10, but I was hoping at least 5 out of 10, because it was going up to 4 videos talking about the OGL. Those all did incredibly well.
Oh yeah, those are hard to top.
Yeah, so I knew it wasn't going to be a 1 out of 10. I was fine with that because it couldn't compare to ongoing news with the OGL, but I was hoping at least 5 out of 10. It would be better than some of the other videos that weren't about the OGL. No, it was a 10 out of 10. Second thing you have to look for out of the 3 things is click-through rate. That is
people clicked on and then off.
Not quite. That's watch time. Click-through rate is out of 100 people that saw your thumbnail, either scrolling on their phone or looking at it on the web. Yeah, out of 100 people, how many of them clicked on your thumbnail? And it's given a percentage.
As a percentage.
Yeah, as a percentage. Yeah. My average click-through rate is roughly about 4 or 5%, which seems really, really low, but that is a lot of people's average. So mine is in line with everybody else's kind of average. The highest click-through rate I've ever seen reported is Mr. Beast, who has like a 35% click-through rate because he's fucking Mr. Beast. So of course he does. But even that, 35%, not even 50%. So mine being 5%, decent. Click-through rate on my journey to Phyrexia, 1.2. 1.2% of all people who had seen my thumbnail clicked it.
I helped.
Thanks. But that doesn't count like Discord links or anything else. That's strictly just browsing YouTube is where it gets to the click-through rate.
Yep.
So that already low. And also on top of this, it doesn't even just tell you the number. It also gives you an arrow key with a green arrow for like more people than normal, a straight just like check mark that's kind of hollowed out. You're like, it's the same as average, or a gray menacing down arrows like this is performing worse than your other videos, my guy. So 1.2 with a gray down arrow. Oof. And the third and final metric, watch time. The average amount of time spent watching your video by most viewers. 30 seconds.
Ooh.
30 seconds. Sorry. 30 seconds initially. And this changes way later, but the initial thing was 30 seconds. And I was like, damn. So on all 3 metrics, my video was performing poorly. It was 10 out of 10, worst of my 10 videos. It was a click-through rate of garbo and a watch-through rate of just 30 seconds, and people went, this isn't interesting, and clicked off.
Oof.
Yeah, so I was like, wow, I put a lot of work into this video. I was very proud of this video. I watched it many times over, and I was like, wow, okay.
You're proud of it.
I was very, very proud of it. But then I really thought about it, and I really looked into it, and I was like, okay, the video's not dead. It's not completely dead on arrival. I could change some things. I could edit, because YouTube has its own editor as well that you can edit once it's uploaded and such. And I was like, okay, what can I possibly do? Because I don't want this video to just die. I spent a lot of time on this video. I think it's really, really good, and I think it's really, really interesting. So how can I do to change this video? What can I do to make it better? And that's when I realized I need to go into the mindset of someone watching YouTube. I'm proud of this video because I made it, and it talks about my story, and I'm looking at it with that perspective. But I need to look at it a perspective of a random viewer who watches fantasy content, who doesn't give a shit who I am or anything. So like, what will make them click? And I realized, looking at the thumbnail and my journey to Phyrexia, it's like, do I as a viewer care about your journey to Phyrexia? Some dude I don't know. Sometimes, yeah, I'll click on a video that's similar to that, but most viewers probably will not. It's not enticing enough to somebody, especially if they don't know what Phyrexia is. They don't know what that is. And if they don't know what the Infect logo is, they don't know what that is either. So that's not really super enticing to them. They don't even know if it's about Magic the Gathering or anything. No idea. So I was like, okay, let's change some things. So I started by just changing the title. I changed the title from My Journey to Phyrexia to I Used to Hate Infect, but Now I Love It. And I thought that was a bit more of a compelling title because now it talked about something directly instead of just Phyrexia. I thought maybe Infect would be a little bit better. I changed that. I let it sit for a couple of hours. No change. So I went, okay, how can I make this a little bit better? And I changed the title a third time to I Hated This Magic Ability, but Now I Love It. Because I was like, okay, we're cut out Infect entirely. Someone
we gotta get that clickbait.
Well, not even clickbait.
No, it's exactly. You know exactly what it is as soon as you look.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, I need to narrow it down. So I went to this I used to hate this magic ability, but now I love it as a little bit of a more of an enticing thing because as well, if you can see a title and it makes you question or think, then you're more drawn to it. Like that's why everyone was like, I can't believe this happened, ? Or like, I didn't expect that because
I can't believe I pulled blank.
Exactly. Because it garners a reaction out of a viewer to be like, well, what did you pull? Now you click, boom, and now you're in. And that's that kind of thing. So, and I was trying to go for that idea, and there was a small uptick in click-through rate. A small one. It went from 1.2 to, I think, like 2.2, 2.3. There was a small click up.
Doubled.
Yeah, effectively. Almost doubled. So I was like, okay, I got something there. And then I was thinking about it, and I was going through other thumbnails for other channels and just kind of comparing mine to theirs. And I went, you know what? I know what this is missing. The thumbnail doesn't garner a reaction. The thumbnail is me looking over my shoulder in an Infect logo. That doesn't garner a reaction, especially if you don't know what the Infect logo is. So I went, okay, how can I make this something a lot more clickable? And that's why I changed it to what it is right now, which is me ripping a poison counter token with a super angry face and with it half torn open. And then I put a little bit of a glow around the card and I reddened my face really badly just to show like extreme anger. So now when you look at it, the thumbnail is just, yeah! And I hated this magic ability, but now I love it. And now my click-through rate, 4%. It jumped up to 4%. And even better, that watch-through time of the 30%, I wish I could show. Oh, I can't show. I'll show you on my phone. I can't show you because we're on totally unstructured, so I can't go to my studio on there.
Oh, right, that makes sense.
But I can go to my studio on here and show you on this one now. Yeah. So this is what I was saying here. These are the three metrics: views, click impressions, click-through rate, and average view duration. My average view duration is now 3 minutes and 27 seconds. Instead of 30 seconds. Drastically went up. My impression click-through rate is now sitting at 3.6. Still better than what it was, and my views are down by a little bit because of comparison to everything else. But I'm at a 9 out of 10. I'm no longer 10 out of 10. So shit's go. So shit's good. And then did you ever see the thumbnail? There's the current thumbnail.
Yes.
Yeah. So it'll be backwards for everybody here, but for everybody watching, it's fucking gone now. For everybody watching, that's the current thumbnail. So me very, very angrily ripping a poison counter. Pardon me. Excuse me. So now the videos started to go back up, and people are watching it more. And also, I can show you where is the there you go. So this is the graph I was talking about. You will always have a bit of a downtick and then a slow downfall. But what you don't want is that the whole way through. So it's fairly consistent pretty much the whole way through, which is good. Just over 50% of watch time. So it's good. So that effectively, that is why I changed the title and the thumbnail, because when I made the video and I uploaded the video, it was made from my perspective of what I think is good, not from the perspective of what a viewer will click on. And I was kind of surprised too, because when I go back at a lot of my older videos that I made, a lot of them are made very well with what a viewer will click on. Like,
and you don't know what happened with this one.
Well, this one I think it was mainly because the older videos weren't something that I was super, super passionate about. Like, perfect example is Horde of the Dragon Queen. That review.
That's hard to be passionate about.
Well, yeah.
Let's be honest here.
But the title is This Adventure is Rough. And then Horde of the Dragon Queen review DM perspective. But it starts out, this adventure is rough. So you go, well, why is this adventure rough? Click, you want to watch it. And the thumbnail is me with like the angry anime fucking thing on my forehead. And I've reddened my forehead as well. And I think there's also a bit of steam coming out of my ears. And then the cover of the book up close. So I was like, yeah, when I made that thumbnail fucking last September, not even the September that just passed, but last September.
Yeah, so, it's been a little while.
Yeah, and that one was like, that's perfect. It garners a reaction. It's clickable, and it's still getting views today. it still gets views. And same thing with
we love evergreen content.
Hell yeah. And once again, same thing with Tyranny of Dragons. That one, the title is not so good, but I see no reason to change it because it's still consistently getting views. The title for that was just like Council Meetings the Council Meetings the Campaign. Or is it the
Council Meetings the Campaign?
Council Meetings the Campaign, or it's either Politics the Campaign. One of the two. I can't remember. I think it's Council Meetings the Campaign. DM perspective.
Very true.
Dragons. So,
because there's at least like 8.
Yeah, no kidding. So, but yeah. So I think
we haven't even finished it.
Nope. So, will soon.
TM.
Yeah. So that's effectively what happened with the Phyrexia one. This video, I was way more passionate about, and it was way more personal to me. And because it was way more personal to me, I made it from my standpoint, not a viewer standpoint. And that's what...
A little bit blind on it.
I won't say that's what went wrong with it, but that's what initially had its downtick now. Now it's pretty much performing average. It's over 100 views, which is great, and the watch time and the click-through rate is average for my channel. So you know what? I'm happy with that.
We take it.
Do I wish this was a 1 out of 10? Yeah, but I wish every video I ever made was a 1 out of 10. But that would be one-upping yourself every single time trying to achieve perfection, which is impossible. So thanks for the dopamine hit, YouTube. I'll chase it for next time. So, but anyways, so yeah, that's what happened with there. Any comments before I inevitably turn to read this wall of text?
No, that you very, very, very much laid it out, laid down the law. And it's like, hey, these are the exact fucking reasons I did this.
Yeah. And you'll see other YouTubers do the same thing. Well, you'll watch the video, and then maybe like a couple hours later, you'll be scrolling to recommend it, and you'll see the same video and be like, I feel like I already watched that, but the thumbnail's different. And then you click it, and it's this exact same video. It's because they're also watching their metrics and going, I think I can make that better, and altering the title, altering the thumbnail, and trying to get that uptick instead. So yeah, I'm not the only one. All right, going back over to YouTube chat here, we've got hello with your Lashy, hello Nermus, hello Escaped 8, hello Evie, and I've said hello to everybody. All right, yeah, you consume at a 2x speed like an insane person. I do. But you think I'm insane? Evie consumes it at 3x speed.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Daydream installed a add-on to her Chrome browser that allows her to watch any internet video, not just YouTube, but any internet videos at 3x speed.
No.
And that, I've never watched a video at 3x speed because it doesn't let me, but I think even that's too fast. Maxor 3x speed? Good God.
Oh, no.
Holy shit. You want to experience a trip? That would be a trip. So, Skate 8, is that the Artificer guy in Stormwreck Isle? Oh, this guy? Yes, this is the same dude. This is the Artificer guy. You're not Simon anymore. You're the Artificer guy.
Fair enough. I am Iron Artificer.
Iron Artificer, yep. Same dude. Glad I got that. Disappointed that I can't remember his name. I can only remember Accord and Fantasia, and no, that's it. Yep. So there. And then somebody in chat fixed him up. Thank you very much, Ashy. Right. Sorry, I've been reading up on Ranger Beastmaster for adding monstrosities to the lore. That's fine. You do what you got to do, my man. Before I jumped over here, I was watching a take on the WotC finality. Did I read that right? The WotC finality?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, sure did.
Don't know what you mean by that. Fair enough. ADHD is a time and a half for watching videos. Yeah, I can only imagine. I try and watch it and stuff, but I don't always get through it in one sitting. Gotcha. Fair enough. Hello, Daydream. And then you say campaign weird. I fucked up. Listen, all right? I said
it wrong once, and then it just fucked your brain for the rest of it.
Yeah, it just happens. Merry onion to all. Oh no, it's bleeding into IRL. The hidden blooming onion of the Outback Steakhouse blooms twice. Oh God. I do 1.25 speed. I started there, Nermus, and then
it's a slippery slope, apparently.
Yeah, it is, because I started that and I just went, and now I'm at 2 max, and I'm happy with 2 max. Even if it offered more than 2, I don't think I would do it. So, people talk too slow. Exactly. See, Daydream knows what's up.
Y'all are insane.
Escaped 8. I think the Rise of Tiamat should be considered an advanced level campaign, because if you put in DM guide stuff from weather to crafting, Xanathar's rules, I beg of you, it becomes a lot better.
There's a lot more wrong with Horde of the Dragon Queen and Rise of Tiamat than what's in the base stuff.
I would say Rise of Tiamat, even itself, is not overly a bad campaign.
No.
I just think my biggest issue with Rise of Tiamat is that I think a lot of people are going to go into it expecting what it's not. Because when you think Rise of Tiamat, you think, oh, it's a war on Tiamat. I'm going to fight Tiamat. And you do. But to get to that point, there's a couple of adventures you do, but it's basically, hey, we, the council, need you to go do this for us because we have to stay here and do council stuff. And then you come back and you keep reporting to that same council over and over again. So like half your adventure is spent adventuring, but then the other half is spent doing politics and council meetings with different factions. And some people will absolutely love that. And I think it's a very enjoyable thing, and I would happily do it again. But I think most people will look at Rise of Tiamat and they won't expect to be doing council meetings with people from Neverwinter and Waterdeep and Baldur's Gate and all this different stuff. I don't think people are going to be interested in that or even know that's a possibility. I think that's the only reason. And also because it's supposed to be a tie-in from Horde of the Dragon Queen, which has none of that. Horde of the Dragon Queen is an entire chase. Horde of the Dragon Queen is a chase from start to finish, and then you finish the chase, and that's the end of the campaign. And then after you've done 8 levels of chasing, now it's politics. And I think that's a horrible disconnect.
It's a very, very rough disconnect.
Yeah. That's if either both of them had more council stuff or both of them were a bit more chasing after MacGuffins, then it would seamlessly flow together. But it doesn't feel consistent that way. And that's kind of the unfortunate thing what happens when you make Horde of the Dragon Queen before the monster manual is done, and then you make...
That was another thing. Like, it was supposed to have you against like assassins.
Yeah, one
which would kill you at level 4.
Yeah, one of the extra... on the chapter 4 on the road, you remember the 2
doppelgangers?
Yeah, the 2 doppelgangers. That was one of the side missions that the
That's
on the road gives
that was
you.
one of the random encounters, basically.
Yeah.
And then another one was basically a group of ruffians that turned out to have the assassin stat block.
Yes.
And assassins are no joke.
Yeah, and
you're level 4.
Yeah, your party is level 4 at this point, and you have to fight 2 assassins in the ground level of a hotel, and there's a 3rd assassin hiding in the attic. So, and like, yeah, the monster manual wasn't complete, so they had a stat block for assassin at the time that they made the book, but by the time the monster manual was finalized, they had changed the assassin, so it was way stronger than when they wrote it initially, and that made it like, holy fuck. In the version now that's official, they're no longer assassins, they're bandits, which is way easier to deal with.
A lot easier. Yeah. We love that.
Yeah. I still didn't run that area because I was just like,
boring.
It was okay, but I was like, the doppelganger one is way more interesting, so I ran that one instead.
Yep.
But it's just one of those things that really initially is like, holy fuck, and then now it's bandits, and that makes much more sense.
See, the problem with Horde of the Dragon Queen is that you had to do a lot of work to make it actually like enjoyable.
Yes.
And we ran it not fully as the way as the book intended.
No.
Especially chapter 4.
I did one of the side quests out of, I think it gives you 12 total side quests to roll on the table for, and then you're rolling daily out of 50 days of travel.
Nah.
And I was like, how do you and that's the other thing. It's like, okay, so if you roll daily, so I'm making 50 rolls, you have 12 side quests. What happens when I run through all 12 of those side quests? Am I repeating them? I don't know what the book recommends. I can't remember. But it was just one of those things.
Doppelgangers again.
Yeah. I was like, okay, sure. I guess, yeah. So this seems like the exact same hotel, the exact same people inside. No. It's a different hotel. Totally different. I know what you're talking about. So, I don't know. I'll have to read the book again and see what it decides. But either way, it's just, yeah. I don't think I've ever ran a campaign exactly as the book intended once. I think the only campaign
very close is probably Storm King's Thunder.
No, I changed so much about that.
Never mind that.
Yeah, initially
you followed it.
From right up until you guys left Icewind Dale, it was right by the book. I ran it exactly as the book intended, page by page, because I wasn't experienced with changing shit on the fly.
Fuck no.
So, but once you guys got into your blimp and started just like open world stuff, that
was completely homebrew.
Well, yeah, because the book literally says, give them the chance to explore, do some extra side quests, do what you wish. When your party is ready to continue, have them meet the frost giant with the 2 axes, whose name I can't remember right now.
Starts with an H.
I want to say Hecaton, but that's a Storm King giant. Him.
I don't remember his name either.
Well, fuck you. What do you mean you're trying to leave me?
I just know that it starts with an H.
Either way, so it says you can meet him at any point you wish when you want them to continue on to the next part. So I went, perfect. Let's do all your backstories at this point.
Oof.
And wow, that was a lot, especially with 7 people. If there was only 4 of you, that would have been way easier to do, and it would not have been so long. But 7 people.
And another part of it is half the people didn't care.
Yes, also true. A lot of you had like super in-depth backstories that I was able to flesh out and do so much with, and then other people I was like, Do you have a backstory? No. Do you want one? Maybe. Okay, what do you want? I'll give you something. Okay, when? I don't know.
I did.
Like, fuck's sake.
Speaking of, we have one of our players in here.
Yes, Nermus was in that campaign. He never gave me a backstory. It's fine. You weren't the most problematic person at the table. You may think you were, but you weren't. So, but either way. So, yeah. But even that one, once we got back on track, after we'd wrapped up everybody's backstory stuff and we started going back on track, then it was once again pretty by the book. Actually, yeah. Now that I really think about it, I think I probably ran Storm King's Thunder pretty much by the book, except for level 6. But that's because level 6 literally just goes open world, do what you want until you're ready to continue the story. So, I think that was about it. It might be Nermus. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't want to send any names out there, but it might be. But either way, so yeah, I would say that after that, I would say I probably what or no. I had problems with the first person. I got frustrated a lot with the second person. But that's very different.
But there was different reasons for both of those.
Yes.
One of them was doing a lot of roleplay stuff, and that was great.
It was
they
great.
Just caused problems.
Yes, the roleplay stuff was fantastic. Love to see people get into character. Don't love when that stuff causes me to have to. It's a complicated. This is a very, very fine tightrope I'm ropping. Holy fuck English.
Then don't.
No. It's not a bad thing or anything. I as DM, I love characters. I love people who get very much into their character. I love you exploring your characters and doing what you think your character is going to do. I have no problem with that. That's all fine. Go for it. I get a little frustrated when your character starts doing stuff that I now have to address outside of everybody else's stuff continuously. I'm fine doing it once in a while. That's fine. If your character needs to leave the group to do something to fulfill something, I'm fine doing a one-on-one duet and just doing this one thing and then coming back into the group immediately after so we can continue the regular story. I'm fine doing that. I don't enjoy when I have to do that continuously over and over and over again, because now there is a clear disconnect where your character is with the group, is out of the group, is back in the group, is out of the group, and back into the group, and then everybody else is going, why are they getting all these one-on-one sessions when I'm stuck in the group? Now I want to do one-on-one sessions, and then you are starting to run not one campaign but several separate narratives, and that I don't like. And there was times where that was happening with Storm King's Thunder, and that's what I had problems with.
You don't do that very much at all now. So.
No, but I don't do it very much at all now because characters don't do that to me.
Yeah.
I'm fine doing it once in a while. If your character needs to leave the group to achieve something and you come talk to me and you're like, hey, can we do like a one-on-one duet while my character does this off in the background, or even not do a duet, but let's just sit down with a Discord call or something and just hash out what I do before I come back next session or something like that. I am all good for that. I am game for that.
But if it's required.
If it's required and I think it fits the story and it fits the narrative and I don't think it's excessive, I think I'm fine with that. If you want to do it twice, now it's a little concerning. 3 times, we have to have a talk. I want to run a campaign, not separate narratives. And Storm King's Thunder started to become separate narratives.
Yeah, Storm King's Thunder, it was your first go at an actual campaign.
Also true.
And it's unfortunate it ended the way it did with not getting completed, but hey, like everything else in the world, the biggest BBEG is scheduling.
Yeah. Well, even that Storm King's Thunder didn't even end from scheduling. It ended because of COVID. Because we started it before COVID, and then once COVID hit, we had to take a break because they shut down the hall that we were using.
Right, I remember that.
So we couldn't use the hall, so we attempted to do online. And
that did not go well.
Yeah. Some players adapted to online very easily, others did not. And it was fine. You know, everyone switched from playing in person every single week for the better part of almost 2 years at that point to suddenly...
2 years?
It was almost 2 years.
No.
Yeah, we started Storm King's Thunder in 2018. And COVID hit in 2020. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I guarantee. I shit you not. I can prove it. Here, I'll prove it. Because I have a photo that Rachel took of me that I put on Facebook when we first started the campaign.
No.
And that was in 2018.
No way.
I shit you not. I will prove it right here, live on camera.
No.
Yep.
There's no way.
Yeah, it was a long, long time ago.
I thought it was like a year and a half max.
Nope.
No way. I wasn't a robot for that long.
You were a robot for quite some time. Okay, never mind. I lied. This was This was April 2019.
Oh, look at him. He's so young.
Yeah. Okay. So this was taken April 2019. So never mind. It wasn't 2018.
See,
it was 2019.
I knew it.
That's me when I first started.
Tor.
Yeah, that's me when I first started dungeon mastering for Storm King's Thunder.
He's so young and innocent.
My hair's short. I got no beard. I'm hotter. I'm younger. It's fucking. Yeah, now I look like this. Shit sucks. So, but anyways, okay, so it's all right. 2019, then we started, and then 2020 hit, and then nothing else happened. So, and then after trying online, we then switched to in person at my house here. I think we maybe did 2 sessions at most. We didn't do very many.
No.
And then work schedules changed for both Ben and Rachel. Mike left the airport. Because he got laid off and he was like, I got a better job opportunity and I don't know when I'm coming back to the airport, so I'm going to take that job. And that fucked with the scheduling. And it's just, there was no way to line it up. So we just went on indefinite hiatus. And now I'm sad to say it's done. There was no way to come back. Ben and Rachel either keep getting back together or separated. And I don't know what it is right now.
I could not tell you.
I don't know either. Last I talked to him, they were separated. And then Mike sees them holding hands in the mall. So I don't know what's happening anymore. But I know for a fact they have 2 separate jobs. Ben works Monday to Friday. Rachel works the weekends. So I can never get the 2 of them back together. So that's for D&D. So that's screwed. Mike doesn't know his exact scheduling because he has an exact scheduling for one job, and he's guaranteed Sundays off, which is why he can do Avernus. But then he also is on call for another job that's just the day up. We sat down to play Avernus. Half an hour into Avernus, he gets a text, "You're working tonight, starts at 9." And he's like, "We have a hard cutoff at 8. I got to go to work immediately after." And we're like, okay, sounds good. And that's just how it is. So there's no possible way we can do Storm King's Thunder with the exact same group with all 7 people. So,
and that's the thing is, like, I don't know how many people actually want to go back to it.
Well, see, and I
know some of people do.
Yeah.
But I can't see absolutely everyone doing it.
And that's, I don't know. I think most people would, because Mike would love to.
Of course. Mike was basically loved everyone in that game. Yeah,
Mike would love to. I think Alex would. He can confirm in chat if he would like to or not. Kendra would as well. And I honestly don't know about Sky. I don't know. Sky is in a weird predicament where I haven't really talked to Sky much. I still see her at work and everything, but she's kind of in an awkward situation with her boyfriend and everything. And she does, and he doesn't work, and she's very angry that he doesn't work because she's footing the bill for everything and he's just staying at home playing World of Warcraft all day. Oof. But it's also convenient for her because then she doesn't have to hire a daycare for her kids, so she leaves her kids at home and he watches over them. So it's really a relationship of convenience than actual like love.
That kind of sucks.
Yeah, and she's like, if I start going, because I've talked to her before about doing when we did Curse of Strahd, and the big thing for her was that her boyfriend has to be okay to watch over the kids now on evenings while she's at D&D, because she was only away out the mornings for work, and that was a big hassle. It worked out; it was fine.
It worked,
and we got through it. But I know that would have to be another thing she would have to do for Storm King's Thunder if we were to do that one again. And I don't know.
I know that you were thinking about rehashing Storm Kings at some point.
I thought about starting over Storm Kings because I really like the story of Storm King's Thunder, and you guys didn't get to fully delve into it. The big shit happens immediately after where you guys are right now.
Yep.
The moment you finish that and you come back and you actually get a council. I don't want to scare you. It's a council meeting with like a bunch of different giants and like the problem that's going on. Man, shit goes fucking off the rails after that, and I was so fucking excited for that, and I want to do that. But you have to get to that point first, and I don't know if enough people would be interested to do that. And now we've got since Storm King's Thunder ended, we've had so many more official books or official campaigns come out that are so interesting. We tried to run Rhyme, didn't end up working because of scheduling, and now I would love to run Dragonlance. Dragonlance is not Forgotten Realms, so it's a new world entirely to explore. Mike would fucking die to do Dragonlance because he read all the Dragonlance books. So I would like to run Dragonlance primarily for Mike because I think Mike would really enjoy it, but also just reading it through it myself, I'm like, this is really cool. It's post-apocalyptic.
Hot Milfy Tiamat.
Yeah, also true. But it's post-apocalyptic fantasy or high fantasy D&D. I'm like, that shit's bonkers. And then like post-apocalyptic because of dragons. Yeah, sign me the fuck up. I'd love to do it. So, but yeah, who knows? So I don't know. maybe not a whole lot of people would come back to Storm King's Thunder, but I think enough would come back to it if I did start it over fresh.
Yeah.
That I could still run it.
Absolutely.
I run a campaign as long as I have a minimum of 4 players.
Yeah.
3 players is too thin for me. 4 minimum.
Awkward.
What do you mean awkward?
You're doing a campaign with only 3 right now.
Oh yeah, but this is one different. This is a tutorial campaign that. Oh fuck.
iPhone.
Yeah. But this is a tutorial campaign that only goes to level 3. It's level 4 now because I fucked up the leveling, but oh well. But it only goes to level 3 and it's not very, very long. You could finish it in a month very easily. And if you do 2 sessions a week, you can finish it in less than a month. It's very, very quick and easy to do. So that one's fine. But also that was kind of a thing of circumstance. I said, who wants to be involved? 2 people signed up, and I went, hey Jackson, or no, sorry, you were like, I'll sign up if you don't have enough. And I was like, perfect. Sounds good. I'll keep you on hold.
I am a filler, and I filled.
Yeah, and you filled. So, but yeah, I would have liked to add 4. But only 3 of you only 2 offered, and then you said I'll fill if nobody else comes in, and nobody else came in. So
yep,
that's how it worked out there. But no, I've enjoyed doing this online D&D thing. I'm enjoying how it's running. It's very interesting to see. Mainly comments on how it's going and everything, and I've definitely seen areas that I can just personally improve in terms of live D&D versus regular D&D.
It's an entirely different beast.
Yeah, at its core, it's still D&D. It's still roleplay.
Yeah, at its core, it's just the mechanics of doing it through a webcam and a microphone with other people, and then sending that to a streaming system.
Yeah, and I mean it's no different than how we play Tyranny of Dragons.
Yep,
it's pretty much exactly the same. The only difference is that I have to, not so much with this game. If I've said this before, but if we stream Tyranny, I don't think I'd be on YouTube anymore because of just certain things that happened in Tyranny that were not safe for YouTube.
No.
So, and because I initially started out thinking about streaming Tyranny, and I'd made like an overlay for Tyranny with like Tiamat's heads kind of phased into the webcams and stuff, and I was very, very proud of it. And then I was like, you know what? Nah, let's not do it. And yeah, looking back, I'm so fucking glad I didn't do it.
Yep.
So,
and not to mention it'd be so much more difficult to get us to do that as well.
Yes.
Because a lot of our times were all over the place.
And I honestly didn't even think about it at the time. But yeah, looking back on scheduling, that would have made it very, very difficult. Yeah, and that's the 100%. If I'm going to do an online game, it has to be the same time every week. If it can't be, I can't do it. Because when it's online, consistency is key. Is it Thursday yet? Thursday is ingrained into everybody's mind. Critical Role happens on Thursdays. And everyone knows that for a fact. If Critical Role happened when everyone was free, your viewership would plummet so fast because it's inconsistent. When's it watching? I don't know. I just got the notification. I don't. It doesn't work. And that goes with any kind of YouTube video. If you can bring it in consistency, people can schedule it into their time, and then it becomes just the norm for them to watch Critical Role on Thursday nights, and then for anything else. So
yep.
And that I'm not saying I'm the biggest Critical Role, nor will I probably ever be, but that's what you have to do with online shows, especially a 3 to 4 hour show. You got to be consistent with that. And even if you don't catch it live, you can watch it anytime afterwards, which is great. But a lot of people like to watch those shows live, so you want to keep that.
Which is ironic because they're no longer live.
Yes, well, Critical Role is no longer live, but they still want to watch it happen at the same time as everybody else.
Yes,
so that they don't get spoiled on Twitter or have to watch it later or anything, and or they go to the water cooler next day and people are like, do you know what happened on Critical Role last night? No, I didn't watch it. It's like, oh, but I did, and you want to get rid of that
community.
Discourse. Yes, the community. That's the perfect word for it, community. So, but yeah, I've had a good time playing it so far. Will I live stream another D&D game? Most likely, but the group has to be 100%. I am free this time, this day, until the end of the time or until so and so thing happens.
Barring circumstances.
Yeah, barring circumstances, that has to be a thing. Because yes, shit happens. You're going away to Vancouver next weekend, so we got to postpone. That's fine. Life happens. But I couldn't do it with Dalton because Dalton's schedule is consistent, but not consistent in a way where he has the exact same days off every week.
Yep.
So, and that wouldn't work that way.
Yep.
All right, catching up on chat here. If you want to talk about bullshit, the first tavern battle in Descent into Avernus is bullshit. Yes, and that's why I skipped it. My current campaign, Descent into Avernus, I started them one session in Elturel, and they watched it sink beneath their feet, and then second session we started in Avernus. I skipped everything about Baldur's Gate because it's ass. So yeah, word to the wise, if you're a dungeon master looking to running Descent to Avernus, I think it's fun. It has some flaws, but I think it's fun. Just don't run the intro. Look at the cover where it says Baldur's Gate Descent to Avernus. Put masking tape over the Baldur's Gate section. It's perfect. Well, maybe not perfect, but it's much much better. So Dragon Heist is great. Mad Mage is a slog. Yes. I have nothing else to add to that other than yes. I got through that Descent Tavern, granted 7 people all taking shots and holding the bandits at the stairs. Proud of you. My party had a level 1 TPK in the Descent Tavern. Yeah, I heard about that. Level 1, but fighting the cultists and our tank died, and we had half the party leave the campaign. Oof. Yep. Yikes.
That sounds about right.
I'm not super surprised by that. That kind of sucks. Who is the most problematic? I want to know. One of the people already named. Big oof, starting with Storm King's Thunder. I liked Storm King's Thunder, and I was like, this one seems super cool. And also, a YouTube channel called Taking 20 said it was the 3rd best out of all the pre-written campaigns, and the first 2 didn't interest me. The first 2 is Curse of Strahd, which, vampires didn't...
You did later.
I did later, but...
I loved it.
Yeah, Curse of Strahd is very, very good. The praise it gets is very much warranted. It's a fantastic campaign. So
having played in it? Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Agree.
Yeah. I would say so far, best pre-written campaign I've run. I haven't run.
Finished?
And finished. I'm just one of the only ones. Horde of the Dragon Queen technically finished. But yeah, it's I will consider Horde of the Dragon Queen finished when we finish both of them.
Yes.
Which will take 1 session. Anyways, that's an anger for another time. But yeah, but Storm King's Thunder was the 3rd best, and then Waterdeep Dragon Heist, I was like, that only goes to level 5, I don't want to run that. And Curse of Strahd, I was like, that seems okay, but Giants, hell yeah, let's do that one. So that's why,
big boys.
Yeah, so that's why I picked that one to start with. And you know what? It wasn't bad. It was okay. Yeah, I would run it very differently now, but it was still all right.
I would not play a robot, though. I had fun with that character for sure, and apparently a lot of people liked it, which I'm happy about.
Yeah.
Like Escape Tape, if you think Simon is like difficult and whatever and to deal with.
Did you say that Simon's difficult?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm just like there was a commenter and I think it might be Escape Tape. I don't know. If I'm putting things in your mouth and
you're getting put on blast, Escape Tape.
This character is played a lot differently than the character I played in
Storm King's Thunder.
In Storm King's Thunder. Also, it's not the right character, and I am sorry. Sorry, not the right person. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're no longer on blast. But, sorry, continue.
So, my first character playing in like a full campaign. Do I count Gunark? No, I didn't play him in a full campaign.
Up to you.
No. I decided, you know what? For those of you who played XCOM 2, because it came out around the time that we started.
A little bit before, yeah.
A little bit before. And it's just like, they have these really cool mech boys. And I'm just like, I like that. I'm going to play that.
To be fair, he as a Warforged, for anyone a little confused.
And this was UA Warforged.
Yes.
Which was busted.
Which was way stronger than current Warforged. Holy shit.
You were called out incorrectly. I apologize. It was not you. I thought it was. I am stupid. Done.
Moving on.
But I played an old AI controlled Warforged little drone that did not have the AI connection anymore, so it was looking around for it.
Yeah.
And honestly, it was a lot of fun because it was so naive, and it was just like, these are all my people now.
Yep. I honest to God, like, I had a couple of issues. I have my issues with Warforged in general, just because they break the whole thing on just group dynamic for certain situations, like sleeping, gone, eating, gone, resting, gone. It's like those kinds of things just kind of fix things. And then also, when we were playing a Storm King's Thunder, no one had ever seen a Warforged before. So every single interaction with you was, holy fuck, what is that? Every single time.
Yes.
And that, for me, was a little taxing, because I was like, well, if I just forego the, oh my god, what is that? Oh, it's so cute every single time, then it's no
I
longer...
wasn't cute.
Well, no.
I was like a 10-foot tall thing of destruction.
Yes, okay. Sorry, let me remove the it's so cute part. But everything else is, if I remove doing that, then it's no longer authentic, and now it seems like Warforges are a common thing, which they weren't. And they, not only were they weren't for Forgotten Realms, they weren't for the lore we created for your character.
Oh, this type, absolutely not.
Yeah, so it was just, for me, it was a little bit annoying just to kind of be like every single new interaction was a re-experiencing of a character. And for me personally, I was like, this is getting very old very fast.
And then I changed the character.
Yeah.
To be even worse.
Yeah. But you know what?
That change was not good. And that's why I needed to kill off the character.
I don't know if I would say it was not good.
I went way too edgy.
Okay, sure, we'll go with that.
That went way too edgy.
That one I could agree with. I will say the character's a lot edgy. To be fair, I kind of set the tone for it though, because
you did have it like locked away.
Yes,
under the ocean.
And when it happened to Warforged, you told me to play the character.
Yep.
So I played it as how I thought it should be done, and it was a very over the top, edgy AI robot lord, which you then had to take after that session and implore your own way.
Yep.
And
which I did.
Yeah, which you did. And was it a bit edgy? Sure.
Yep.
But it's not. I want to be very, very clear. Edginess is not always a bad thing.
No. The thing about it is I never really got to continue with that character a whole lot.
Yeah.
Because it blew itself up.
Yes. Yes. The character had its mind taken over by an aboleth, and it decided that it as super strong as an AI as it was, having full control of everything and finally getting to exist again in the world, and then it had something over in control of itself.
Its mortal enemy, mind you.
Yes, the mortal enemy of aboleths. It decided that was too much for it, and you went and walked away from the party and self-destructed.
Yep. And then Reyna is a much better character.
Yes.
Well, also edgy as fuck.
No, I would say nowhere near as edgy, but but it was kind of nice to see you bring back a character that in a different campaign is stuck on an island
in a thing full of spiders,
in a cave
with like driders.
Yeah, so she was stuck in a cave full of driders on an island in the middle of fuck knows where, and that's how her story ended in that timeline.
Yep.
But in this timeline, you got to bring her back and do something else interesting with her, and then that time that didn't finish either. Oh well. So
I'll play a game with her eventually.
She's gonna have a third timeline.
maybe this time it's a instead of a giant greatsword, it's maybe a hammer. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
But yeah, but that also made for an interesting dynamic as well. Like people is like, why do you have this sword that you're not using? And it's just like, don't fucking touch it. Yep.
Man, I remember the absolute fucking fear in your eyes when she got taken over by one of the not the ghost, but it was like
a wraith or something.
Something like that. I can't remember the exact monster it was, but it was something that can, if you fail a saving throw, it takes control of your body until you complete the saving throw or are knocked unconscious. And it took over your body, and you were in absolute fear that it was going to reach up and grab the sword and start attacking with that. But it had no reason to, because it was already holding a weapon.
I know.
But you were like, it's going to drop the weapon and grab the sword. And I was like, it has no reason to do that. But I just remember you being in absolute fear. Like, this is it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, this is it. She's fucked. She's dead. She's going to grab the sword. It's going to take control of her. This is fucked. It's dead. And I'm going there. I don't know why you're so afraid. It doesn't know. It has no idea about the sword. It's just going to control your body, and it's already holding a weapon. Why would it drop the weapon it's holding for a different weapon?
Yep.
But it was just funny to see you just full panic.
Oh, because if that happened, everyone else was in trouble.
Yes. Brief little rundown where we're talking about. The sword that she was carrying was wrapped up in chains, and it was a sentient sword that was infected by, he said, a monster. He didn't give me any other details. He said it's infected by a monster. She can't ever touch it, or she's going to lose control. Go with that. And I went, okay, sounds good. So I basically took a Baylor stat block, shoved it into the sword, made a couple tweaks there, and I was just like, yeah, and if you touch the sword, you immediately attune to it, and you must attack the closest living creature. Until
you fail the saving throw, you basically go berserk.
Yeah, you auto attune to it the moment you grab the sword, and if you fail a saving throw, you go berserk, and you must attack the closest living creature, and you can
at advantage without getting disadvantage.
Yeah, at advantage, anything that would impose disadvantage.
It was a fucking great sword that did like 2d8 fire damage when it hit too.
It was
insane. Brutal.
I think I can find it again. Let's find the stat block for it. I'm pretty sure I think I put it on D&D Beyond. If I didn't, it's in my notes somewhere. But it was fun.
It was a brutal weapon that, if anything, actually like got a hold of it. Oof.
Yep, it would not have been good. How do I find my homebrew stuff?
Go to homebrew.
No, I just went to regular homebrew stuff.
Go...
Oh, view my homebrew. There we go. Hellslinger.
There it is.
Yeah, Jewel Lyctian. Yeah. So let's take a look here. So, we're gonna switch to display here so everyone can read along with this on this one. So here's the weapon, Jewel of the Lyctian, which for those who don't know, the Lyctian is a eternal maze in the abyss. So fun places here. It's a weapon, greatsword, artifact, requires attunement, and requires attunement by a creature with intelligence of 8 or higher. Attunement happens instantly upon physical touch of the weapon. While held within its sheath, what parts visible look like a very beautiful white and gray shades with wings as cross guards and a black gem in the center of the pommel. Once the sword is unsheathed, the entire sword turns to shades of crimson black with dark mist falling off it as a black gem turns into a deep dark eye. And the once white beautiful wings turn to leather like bat wings with red stretched skin, and the blade is pure obsidian black with small jagged edges along each side that seem to glow a slight tint of red. Edgy.
That was me.
Edgy.
You copy and pasted that shit.
But moving on, the sword has a +3 bonus to attack and damage rolls. All attacks with this sword deal an additional 2d10 necrotic damage. While attuned, all attacks made with the weapon have advantage. Attempts to impose disadvantage on you or the weapon automatically fail. Sentient, held within the sword is the demon Badrizel, who was imprisoned by the Horned King Bahamut and was sent to the Baphomet. They're so close in names. It's annoying. And sent to the material plane simply to cause chaos and destruction. The Jewel of Lyctian is a sentient, chaotic evil weapon with an AC of 19, 62 hit points, intelligence of 20, wisdom 16, charisma 22. Is hearing and dark vision out to a range of 60 feet. The weapon can understand abyssal and common and can communicate telepathically within 10 feet of it. While you are attuned to it, the Jewel of Lyctian also understands every language you know. And then Soul Void. While attuned to the weapon, your alignment instantly changes to chaotic evil, and you attempt to destroy all living creatures nearby. Dark black crimson spills from your eyes, and your vision goes red, and all you can see are shades of living creatures and a compelling notion to attack and kill them all. Attempt to let go of the sword requires successful DC 19 wisdom saving throw, which you can attempt to make at the start of your turn. On a success, you drop the sword and fall unconscious within 5 feet of it. On a fail, you take 1d8 plus 4 necrotic damage and continue to stack for each failure made after. So 2d8, 3d8, 4d8, so on and so forth. And then finally, the Abyss awaits. If the Jewel of Lyctian is brought down to 0 hit points, it explodes, and each creature within 30 feet of it must make a DC 20 dex save. DC 20 dex save, taking 10d6 fire damage on a fail save or half as much damage on a successful one. The explosion ignites flammable objects in that area that aren't being worn or carried, and it destroys the weapon, sending Badrizel back to the abyssal plane. Yeah. Oh, and then proficiency with greatsword allows you to add your proficiency bonus to the attack for any attack you make with it. Just add a little cherry. If you got proficiency, you can also add that to it. So, yeah. So that was the Jewel of the Lyctian. No one ever got to swing the damn thing. I was so sad. I was waiting for someone, not even you, but just someone. Just like in the middle of the night as you're sleeping, just someone. Just be like, you know what? I'm interested.
And as you see, Alex is like, I wanted to touch it.
Yeah. Bronx also wanted to touch it.
Oh my god.
He initially learned about it and was like, don't touch it. And then after sessions, he'd be like, I kind of want to see what will happen if I grab it. and I'm like, you can go for it, Ben. You want to grab it? Go for it, my guy. Have at her. And he was like, I don't know if it's a good idea though. And I'm like, I'm going to tell you right now, it's not. but go for it. And like the thing is, he knew what it did because he cast in identify on it. So I gave him the stat block and I was like, here you go. And that's why he, after reading it, he went to everybody and went, don't touch the sword.
But then not even Raina knew exactly what it was.
Yeah, no, you didn't know. I didn't share that with you until after the campaign was basically considered indefinite hiatus forever. And then I was like, oh yeah, by the way, do you want to know what I wrote for that sword? Here you go.
Brutal.
Yeah. So everybody else in the party basically knew what happened with the sword except for the person carrying the sword because you never identified it or anything.
No, I was a fighter. I literally was just like, hey, I'm the caretaker of this now because it murdered all my friends and I'm going to fucking kill it.
Yep. And you had the chance to. Well, not quite. You were given the chance to. There was a fire giant forge where you were hoping to toss the sword into the forge and let it burn and go in there. Yep. And it would have worked. Spoilers, it would have worked. Yeah. So, and it would have been gone forever.
It would have fucking exploded.
It would have, yes. There would have been a large of molten lava, but it still would have worked. So
that would have been great.
Yep. Yeah, well. Let's catch up on some chat stuff here. So, I'd love to play it in time. I have a Kobold Astro Monk. I want to play for that. I'd love to play in time. What is in time?
Just whenever they're able to.
Oh, just whenever they... Oh, sorry. That makes much more sense. I was like, I don't know what in time means. I love Kurt's Strahd so much. Yeah, I know you do. I just finished up Kurt's Strahd, was good, would do again and I know I can do better, maybe longer. The thing I like about Kurt's Strahd is that even if you run it again for the same group, you can change certain things, like the card reading at the start. That you could change it up. And the best thing about that card reading is that because it gives you locations, or it says the item is in certain locations, to finish the campaign, you only need to go to those designated locations, grab the items, and then go fight Strahd. You don't need to go to all the additional locations.
Hell, you don't even need to go to those.
Well,
you
yeah,
just go fight Strahd.
That's true. You could.
You'll die,
but you can. So yeah, they very, very much help. And that's the thing is, like, if we do Curse of Strahd again, we just do the card reading. You get different locations, and then suddenly you don't go to the winery. You don't go to the place with the snow.
Amber Temple.
Or the Amber Temple. Yeah, maybe it's a good thing you don't go to the Amber Temple, because the Amber Temple is rough. But
yeah, that was spooky.
Yeah, there was a certain.
I think we speed ran that. We like went in there, grabbed our shit, and fucking booked it.
Well, at that point, you guys were like, "We're final level. We're level 10. We're at the last level now. We have all our items. We have no need to do anything else now. Grab the item, go." And I was so excited because I was like, all right, finally, all the building ups to like fucking Vecna is bleeding into this campaign, and the soul of Sigmar's ship is at the bottom of the lake and everything, and all this is leading up to it. And you guys went, cool. Strahd? It's like, fuck. So, but I mean, it is what it is. That happens for every DM, is that you build up a lot of stuff and then your party decides no, and they continue going and you go, fuck it. That's it.
We'll throw that into the not used bin.
Yeah. Sometimes you can kind of get away with it. Like if your party is like, all right, we're going to, like you the DM tell your party there's like all the different things, and you plan for them to like, they're going to go to this mountain and they're going to find this castle on the mountain, and that's the next step for them. And the party goes, we're going to go to the swamp, and you've planned fuck all for the swamp, and you go, okay, guess what? That castle's not on the mountain anymore. It's in the swamp. And you just do that. And spoilers, that's how sometimes things go.
I understand.
Yeah, but sometimes that's just how you got to do. Or you could just be like, all right, change it, and then just fucking come up with shit on the fly for the swamp. But if you've prepped a lot of stuff for this castle, it's just easier for you to be like, oh, well, I wanted the castle to be on the mountain, but I'm okay with it being in the swamp now. Or you could just, like...
And you swap around a couple monsters.
Yeah, or you just do that kind of stuff. Yeah, because suddenly it's like, oh, there's a Yeti in this castle. In the swamp? It's a swamp Yeti. What? Or it's like, no, just change the Yeti for a troll. That makes much more sense. And then you just go with that stuff. So, yeah, not everything goes according to the plan, but if you want everything to go according to the plan, don't run D&D, write a book. That's just how that life works. Escaped Ape. I had 2 druids and 1 sorcerer in Strahd's casting daylight all over the place, and on Strahd's clothes, they granted him hard... Oh, they ganked him. They ganked him hard without the items. Oof. Yeah, that would do it. Tons of daylight spells. Yeah, I could see that happening.
Oof.
You know what I also see happening? The end of this podcast.
Pog.
Pog. He's like, finally, we're fucking done. I can get the hell out of here and go home. Anything else you want to add before we round out this campaign? This campaign, my God, we've been talking too much about D&D. This podcast.
No.
All right. Well, fair enough. Thank you guys all so much for coming down. Appreciate it. I hope you guys had a fantastic time with the podcast, and we will see you guys all in 2 weeks' time. I don't know what we're going to be talking about in 2 weeks' time. We may talk about convention stuff, depending on if anything fun and fantastic happens for you at the convention.
Yeah, we're not tabling at this one, so it'll be interesting.
You get to just actually enjoy.
We actually get to enjoy one. Would you look at that?
You get to walk around, and not only for like a brief moment, you get to actually enjoy the whole damn thing. That's going to be a big convention in Vancouver.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine.
So,
it's going to be something.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Well, I hope you have a fantastic time. I am going to stay here and rot in Kelowna.
Oof.
But thank you guys so much for coming down. If you enjoyed the podcast, tell your friends. If you didn't, you can tell us, and we will see you guys all in 2 weeks' time. Thanks for coming down. Have a good night.
Peace.
Bye-bye.